Hello, welcome to the Gables, Lace, and Tails podcast. My name is Sue, and I am a maker from northwestern Wisconsin. You may not be able to see because she's so black, but this is Anja. Show me your eyes. There. She's right here. Oh, yes. She likes to sit here. I sit here with my light so I can see my knitting, and she sits here right next to me, and then I get to pet her every once in a while. Yes. She's my protector. Well, it's a nice day out. I got to be outside while it snowed, and it was wonderful. We had indoor recess on Monday and Tuesday due to the severe cold. A lot of people are angry at the school district for not calling off school on Monday, but whatever. Anyway, it's going to get colder starting tomorrow and into the weekend, but the kids don't have school on Friday, and it's like supposed to be like minus 40, and they're making all of us come in to do our professional development day in person versus remotely online. And yeah, a lot of people are angry. Not me. I mean, it's going to suck getting outside in the cold, but it'll be fine. I am the lucky one. I don't live that far away from my school, but there are people that travel a half hour away. And the what ifs, like what if you slide off the road? Or what if your car has a malfunction? Or, there's just a lot of concern, especially when it gets to be that cold. Anyway, let's get into the knitting. Little bit of tidbit. Yeah, last night I was at work at a ticket booth doing for a basketball game, and a lady came up and she said, I was wearing my the Audrey or my Christmas sweater, and she said, I love your sweater. I said, thank you, I made it. She's like, you made that? And I was like, I sure did. And then I thought, nothing of it. I was like, yay, people like my clothes. And then a little while later, she came back out with her daughter, and she said, I just had to show my daughter your sweater. And I'm like, cool. I also made my wrist warmers, the blue and orange ones, and my socks that I'm wearing. So, yay for knitting. Anyway, I thought that was fun. It was really, really sweet. So, I don't have a lot to discuss because I have been working a lot, and that's just the way life is. I will discuss a little bit on my palette cardigan and the Sailor Swift top. I didn't really get that much completed, but it's nice to keep me motivated to complete, because that is very important. The motivation to complete something. Now, I am making a set and sleeve V-neck cardigan using, I'm almost losing stitches, using Knit Picks palette in the color Camel Twist. I don't know if they have a similar color like this anymore. I got this like in 2018, 2019. I got 10 skeins for $16.20. Those were the days. I am doing a 2x2 rib. And for the main body of the sweater, I believe I'm doing a US 3. A US 3. Yes, or a 3.25 millimeter. This is the Knit Picks Reflections. Just do this. They're very smooth. I like the pointy tip. This is their lace weight set, and I really like them. I bought them for myself. I did get a discount because I always look for things on sale. I don't buy them full price because, that's silly. And then I'm using my favorite, this is one of my favorite pattern books. I'm using the set and sleeve cardigan in this book, and I'm doing the V-neck version. And it says on the back here, more than 1,500 options for knitting sweaters in any gauge or size. I really like her books. I've mentioned this before. It's a spreadsheet book. I just follow the instructions for that section. I do put, you know, what do you call them? Post-its along it. You can choose a different bust size and a length size, you know, so there's a lot of options here. Like, see, there's my post-it, which shows like, okay, I need to get to this and I'm doing this and blah, 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 blah. So my kitty is being sassy with the couch. She is scratching at it. Now I am doing the right front. So in the pattern book, it will state all the instructions for the left front. In fact, I can just show you on this one. This is another sweater I made using this book. This is made out of the line Berroco Dulce, which is a it's discontinued yarn. And it's like one of my favorite sweaters. It is so soft, so comfortable. It is a mixture of, so it had a braided core of nylon, cotton, and wool, and then it has brushed alpaca on the outside, and it's the color Jade, and it's so beautiful. This is a drop shoulder. You can see the drop shoulder here, but I also made this as the V-neck option. It's a very gradual V-neck. I did a 1x1 rib, and I've only steam blocked it. I've never wet blocked it because I don't want to lose the fluff, and I'm kind of nervous about losing the fluff. But I did get a steamer for Christmas one year. It just lays really nice. It's really warm and it's really light. And I don't remember the needle size I used. I think I want to say a 7, a US 7. It's been so long. But when you work on the left front, all the instructions in the book are for the left front. And then when it says for the right front, it says do as left front, but work on the wrong side. So if it says decrease on the right side, blah, 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 you actually decrease on the wrong side for the opposite. It seems confusing, but it really isn't. If you just think, oh, well, I decreased over here, but then on the wrong side, on this side, you just decrease, and you just have to remind yourself to decrease on the wrong side, on the right side. And that sounds funny and a little convoluted. So yeah, so like this is the right side. So when I get to a certain point, I will just decrease on this side for, you know, how would that work? I would have to decrease on, after the right side row, I would decrease on this side for my right side underarm shaping, and I would decrease on the wrong side for, or yeah, I don't know. I did read the instructions. I would decrease the right way for the right side, and if it's on the wrong side of the fabric, fine, whatever. I feel like I'm not explaining that very well, and I apologize. It does state in the book, do the opposite. So if you're doing it a certain way for this way, just do the opposite. So I've never had trouble with any of the sweaters I've made from these books. You know, if I don't understand the instructions, I just take a breather, reread them, and that goes for any instructions for any pattern. Coffee tastes good. All right, the next one I did work a little bit here and there, and I do need to get these needles off of this project so I can finish another project, but I haven't had the light. It's been very dark and gloomy, which I don't really mind. I'm not one of those people that are affected with the SAD disorder, and I actually like winter. So this is the Sailor Swift top. I'll just hold it. I'm getting there. You know, I have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow stripes. I think I'm gonna have it come down a little bit more. I haven't tried it on again, but it's kind of like in the midsection of my belly. I don't want it so long that it looks like a dress, but I also don't want it so short that it doesn't look good. It's easy. It's just going in the round. I'm using a US 2.5 with the same reflections set. It's just a really nice yarn. Patton's linen, which I think is discontinued. It's 65, how was it? I think it was 65% cotton and 35% linen, working back and forth, you know, like in stocking net. It was so nice. Working in the round, it tires my hands, which is just one of those things. I like to have a little bit of variety in my movements. So when I get into a situation where I'm just like back knitting, 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 I do get tired. It's coming along. I'm really excited to get it done. I'm excited to get my other cardigan done, but I haven't touched it at all because I've been really busy with working ticket booths and general life stuff. Well, hello, Talulla. The cats are playing. Talulla's right here off camera. Should I try and take her in her frisky mood? Here she is, everyone. Say hello. Hello, my name is Talulla, and my mom is holding me in that such a nice way. Okay, there we go. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Talulla. I was playing with my sister, and I want to scratch and claw. Her sister's Anja, the cat. Not now. Okay. She wants to go. She's so pretty. All right. Those are the two things that I really haven't worked on a lot, but I have got some progress. It's not like I've only worked on one thing all the time, because as you know, I'm not a monogamous knitter. Now I started working on this, and I really want to see if I could make my second wrist warmer prototype better. Now this is the first one. Just hold it right here. I have not weaved in the ends. I did block it. I like it. There's nothing really wrong with it, except I just didn't feel like you could see the green leaves up here as well as I wanted them to. So, I don't know if you can even see this. I was working on this the other day, and in the winter, I get really, really, really dry fingertips. And I call them the cat tongue fingertips, where yarn or other like fabrics just really cling to them and it feels gross. And it just is like, oh, so unpleasant to work with. So I did, lotion up my hands quite a bit, which may have affected the yarn a little bit, but we'll see. I mean, it might wash out. So let's see if you can see this. So I just finished, here, I'll show. This is not a pattern. Anyone can do this. I just found motifs and then figured out my spacing. Okay. So right here, this is the motif. And instead of having the space here where it's the main color yarn, I just did all green for the second one. And I think it's going to look better. I think it's going to look more cohesive. But as you can see, I have a long ways to go. And presently working on this yarn is not the most enjoyable just because of the dry fingertips. So it happens every year, Will I get over it? Yeah. Can I put lotion on? Yeah. But it's just one of those things. And other people have it as well. I was talking to a lady at work, and she says she gets really dry fingertips. My grandma will get really dry fingertips. So that will continue to be made, and I can't wait till it's done. It really doesn't take that long to make them. It just, you know, I'm using a US, I think 1. I'm using my Knitter's Pride Zing double point needles. I like double point needles. I really do. And I'm thinking about, I'm using a 0 or a 2 millimeter. I'll put this up closer. Too close. It has a blunt tip, but it's not that, it doesn't bother me. And I use these needles all the time for socks and mittens. And I even made a pair of gloves once, and I do not like them. I messed up with the length of the tips as well as the right here. I made them, it just doesn't fit my fingers well. I don't even know where they are, to be perfectly honest. So, the big thing I'm going to talk about, and the last thing I'm going to, well, maybe not the last, but the big thing I'm going to talk about is my wilderness sweater from Linka Neuman. She is a Norwegian designer, and oh, let's see, where's the picture I always show? This is not a real size inclusive book. There's 5 sizes, and I'm doing the 4th size. But they're supposed to fit, you know, let's see, I don't want to show all this stuff, but that's the sweater. Hello. That's the sweater. I am doing black for the blue, and then I'm doing a pink and blue, and then with this, the paw prints are going to be pink, and then the stripe of white is going to be yellow. I am using Alafosslopi yarn, which is suggested. I am not using for the ribbing, they state in the pattern to use a US 7. I'm using a US 8. I don't like stuff so tight around me. I like a little bit of space. And when I made the Foika sweater, out of the same book, I'll find it. And I used a US 8 as well. Here's the Foika. And I made this colorway out of the Foika. And it's really nice. But using an 8 gave me a little bit more space down here with it not being too loose. But what I realized after I made the Foika is that I should have cast on using a larger needle just to give it a little bit of give in the beginning. So that's what I did this morning before work. Where is it? It took me 2 times. So, one, it usually takes me at least 2 times. If I'm really lucky, I can get the cast on correctly. I use a long tail cast on, and not have too much yarn at the end. I have quite a bit of yarn at this time, and I wasn't going to do it a 3rd time. The first time I knew I was going to run out, so I just undid. And I also like to do, I count 50, and then I put a little stitch marker. I will get rid of the stitch markers after I, start doing the 1x1 rib. But then I count another 50, and I do a stitch marker, and then this side was only like 56, so I didn't put another stitch marker. But that way, I can double check the amount of stitches and know that I'm correct, so I don't have to count and then go, wait, was I on 60 or 70? Oh, and then start over. Wait, and then your mind wanders. Was I on 90 or 100? This way, 50, 50, 50. So, the Alafosslopi yarn is a bulky weight yarn. I got mine from Little Knits in Seattle. It was on sale the last time I looked, I think like 30% off. And so I cast on using a US 10, and then I switched to a US 8, and I'm using Nip Picks Sunstruck. Yes, it's a laminated birch needle. I like these a lot. They're very smooth. It works really well with this yarn. And I have the shorties too, which could have helped with like going in the round on the sleeves, but I'm really actually preferring to knit with double pointed needles with this one. With the Foika, I did in the round, and it was really hard, and the shorties only go up to a US 10. So you have, you know, the small needle with the small circumference and a larger needle with the larger circumference. And I just felt like I was just too much puckering up in this area of the sleeve. So this time I'm almost done with my second sleeve. And, oh, so the color work is a little different on this one than the first one because I used a larger needle. So here's all of my increases pins. I have a blue pin right here to show me that this color work was done by a 10.75 US 10.75 double pointed needle. Oh no, I'm losing stitches. Oh, that's a scary thought. Okay, one, it's black yarn. Two, I don't want to mess up. Anyway, on the first sleeve, which is completed, and I have it on some try it on tubing, I used a 10.5 millimeter. Now, looking at, at first I was like, oh, I like the bigger millimeter needle. And then, can you tell? This is the bigger one. This is the first one. I think I like the 10.5 better. It seems more cohesive. This one just seems a little loose, a little sloppy. I am not ripping it out. It's just a sweater. And, you know, you're going to block it and it's going to be fine. And it's just a sweater. Now, if I was like, what's the word I'm looking for? Say I was commissioned to make a sweater for somebody, then I would make sure it was correct. But I'm using, I know the blue, I don't feel like taking it out. It's called Arctic Blue. I think the pink is called Blush. And I think the yellow is called Sunrise. Crinkles. They're really pretty together. And I think it'll be really nice. It's not really high contrast, but I think it'll be really pretty. So, I did also want to state that knitting in the round can be difficult. You can twist your yarn very easily. And I did that with the Foika. And it really, like, it drove me crazy. You know, getting the right stitch count for the cast on, finally. And then putting it in the round right away and realizing you twisted it. Now you have to take it all apart because to unpick 156 stitches or just rip it all out and start over. I ripped it all out and started over on the Foika. But by that time, I was kind of irritated. So I thought to myself, how did I crochet in the round? Because crocheting in the round, I would twist as well. And then I remembered when I was doing a lot of infinity cowls that with crochet, I wouldn't twist it if I gave myself a little bit of back and forth work. So I would just let's see, I got some paper here. I would just, so you have your initial line of chain or cast on. And then I would just knit or crochet back and forth a little section. And then I would, you know, look at it and lay it out and then start in the round there. So when you are actually in the round, let's see if I can do this. You would have like a little section. Okay, say like you're going in the round and you have a little section that's not attached, but it's attached everywhere else. You just go back and sew it up and no one knows the difference. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back and forth in a 1x1 rib for probably at least 3, maybe 4 times. So then it'll be flat enough where I can say, all right, it is even all the way around. Now I can go in the round. And then I'll just sew it up. Because, you know, you have the curviness of the circular needles. And then, you know, this amount of stitches, you think you have it right, but you may not. You know, it could be like way up here. It might be twisted. And with black yarn, it's even harder to see. So, yay! At least I got a cast on this morning before work. Yesterday, I was going to do that. I was like, I'm going to get ready and I'm going to do this and it's going to look better and I can show them exactly what I mean and all that fun stuff. And then I couldn't find the yarn because I put it in a safe place and I forgot where I put it in that safe place, which kind of made me mad, but I did find it after a half hour of looking. Ain't that the case? Now, I will say that the first sleeve took a whole skein of black, so obviously I have a little bit of ways to go. I don't know how much I have here. Each of these skeins is about 100 grams. And yeah, this is coming along. I will keep you updated, keep going, and I really like working on this bulky knit. And this yarn, since it is Alafosslopi, which is a hair sheep, you think it would bother my fingertips, but it really doesn't. I don't know why, but it doesn't. Ugh. Everything's so big and crinkly. Now, which always attracts a cat. And she's sitting right off to the side here. And she sees the yarn and she loves this yarn and she wants to kill the yarn. Because, you know, she's a cat. Now, one thing I have been really wanting for like, oh, I don't know, the last 3 years, 4 years, yeah, I'll say 3 years, is a really good hat. Actually, I've been wanting, no, I have been wanting a new winter hat for a really long time. But I'm not going to go out and buy one because I had a really wonderful hat and it was a Green Bay Packer hat. We went and saw the Green Bay Packers in 2017 and it was a wonderful winter hat and it was super warm around my ears and it came down and I just loved my Green Bay Packer hat. It was not really pink and it was kind of a dusty rose and it reminded me of that time that we got to go to see a Packer game. It was really fun. But on a March day when it was just a little bit too warm, I put it in my pocket and lost it on my walk. I was so sad. I searched the neighborhood forever. I went back on the same route I took. I looked for it. Someone saw it and took it. And it was never to be found again. Now, I make do with the hats I have because my husband is a compulsive hat buyer. and he then only wears it for a season and then gets rid of it. And I don't like that. That to me is wasteful. So I take it, and I mean, they work, but they're not long enough, and I get really cold ears, and so I wear another hat under, like one of those little bands underneath it to cover my ears. But when I saw the Musselboro hat, I thought, well, that's kind of like my Green Bay Packer hat. It was double thick. It was stockinette. It had a nice big brim, and it kept my ears just so nice and warm. So I did buy the pattern a little bit ago, and she's just going crazy over there, my Talulla. And I've been looking at the yarn that I want to use, and like I plan on probably making more than one hat of this kind if I like it, which, let's be honest, I think I will. But there's different sizes of yarn you can use, and then different gauges, which is kind of like, the Ann Budd's books. So I was thinking, well, what yarn do I want to start with? What do I have extra? Because, like sometimes you buy quantities of sweater yarn and you don't really want to take a few skeins away from that, or you buy smaller amounts of similar yarn to the one that I'm going to show you, but you want to use it for color work, and you don't want to you only have 2 skeins, which would be more than enough for this hat, but you might want to use it for color work. So I have a lot of this color left. This is Knit Picks Palette Twist Briar Twist. It's a fingering weight Highland Peruvian, which is the same as my wrist warmer and the same as my cardigan that I just showed you. And I really like this yarn. I really, really like it. It doesn't itch me at all. So I think this is a good yarn to try. I thought, oh, this morning I had 40 minutes, maybe almost 45 minutes before I had to go to work. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to cast on my wilderness sweater bottom, and then I'm going to cast on my Musselboro. Well, I did not get that far. Actually, I was going to do a gauge swatch to see the needles. Now, you can use a circular needle. You can use, I see a lot of people using circular needles, but I'm thinking maybe I would like to use double pointed needles, and I just have to find the right gauge for this hat, and the needles I have. And I do have large lace weight double pointed needles that I got a long time ago. But essentially, like everybody says, you make a long tube and then you fold it, you put it in. The cast on, I'm going to try and just see if I can just cast on and then, seam up the center, because I don't want to do a magic cast on, and I don't know. I just don't feel like doing another new technique at this moment in time when I have so many projects I have almost finished. But it would really be nice to get a hat. And then I think it's January, and should I really spend my time on this, or should I work on other things? And so that is how life is. If I don't finish it for this winter season, sometimes it snows in May in my neck of the woods. Sometimes it's 80 degrees in March. We never know. So that's basically what's going on in my life. There's always something else right around the corner. I will say that I got a summer job from May into October. I have a background in restaurant work, and I was talking to another one of my coworkers. She works at a different elementary school, but we both work summer schools together, and we both work ticket booths and whatnot together. And I was like, blah, blah, blah. High school is expensive, yada, yada, yada. I need to make more money over summer, but I'm not really sure when you go working at like a store or you know, a business of any kind, they may not want you to leave in September or whatever. And then she said that she is managing the food truck at a local winery in the summer. And then she sent me the link for the application, which I filled out. And then I had my interview on Monday and I got the job. So it's only Saturdays and Sundays, which is really nice. And you can pick and choose, and there should be enough people to cover the shifts. And I'm looking forward to making a little bit of extra money over the summer. So with that bit of knowledge, you know, live long and prosper, right? I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for liking, and thank you for subscribing, and thank you for your comments. I've been really touched with your comments lately. It's just been really nice to hear that my suggestions for the Ann Buds books have made a difference, because I have learned so much from these. I am really glad I took a chance on these books, and they just have taught me so much. And I'm really thankful that people like my knitwear, because it is something I love to do, and I love to wear something I made. It just brings me like almost a full circle moment of when I was a little girl watching Little House on the Prairie and thinking to myself, you know, I'm going to make myself a dress like that someday. That's still on the to-do list, but you know, maybe soon. Well, I hope you're all doing well. Take care. Have fun. Bye for now.